They feared humanity's rage, until it became the only thing standing between them and extinction. Choice, reasoning, control. Society could only flourish when these qualities took precedence, replacing their animal counterparts. It was the eradication of violent instincts that was considered by all scholars to be the step that defined sapience. How could cooperation abound when tempers flared and a species turned at each other's throats? How could intelligence develop when its thoughts were overruled by rage, clawing for attention, and superseding higher logic? In short, Sophons had no internal demons demanding violence upon certain triggers. Primals, as pre-sapient, above-average intelligent animals were called, could snap at any moment if pushed too far, no matter how docile and well-trained they were. If a sapient had to defend itself, it didn't need the most ancient part of its brain to command it to do so. Logic was cold and unerring, able to make decisions about the necessity of both self-defense and aggressive actions. One could dislike a person, finding their presence draining and inhibiting to their set goals, without the impulse to strike them down. All choices were ruled by the calculus of reason. Only then did a species progress past their wild, primitive states. This was true, except for the case of the humans, a species that was forbidden to be contacted, a species that didn't match the criteria for sapience. Somehow, these primals had developed a society without losing the most basic trait of savagery. By all accounts, the humans were dangerously temperamental and violent, more so than many animals that weren't impressively intelligent. The Forbidden World was the one place that the Ploax would never think to look for us. Their species had been systematically eliminating ours, for the logical reason that we were competition for the scarce inhabitable planets available to a silicon-based life form. Even now, our sulfur springs were being poisoned and our atmospheres infected. The Cosmic Council would do nothing to intervene based on the harsh reality that it wasn't in their interest to provoke the Ploax, when the vast majority were carbon-based life forms that wouldn't be targeted. Evacuation pods took precedence, heading to various metropolises, worlds where they'd know to look for refugees, with dominant species that would turn us over as soon as the Ploax showed up demanding it. My people, the Saphnos, would soon be extinct. While carbon-based life forms were incompatible with our biology, we'd undergone genetic engineering to be able to visit council races, despite our requirement for heat worlds. We could survive, albeit with a great deal of discomfort and hazards afoot. I made the choice to head for Earth, without informing my sister until the coordinates were already set. You want us to ask primals that can't control themselves for help? Elby asked, shocked to her core. You do understand, don't you? The humans can get set off by anything, and they will want to kill you. That part of their brain is active, volatile, and can't be reasoned with. I adjusted my harness, trying not to lose my nerve. We need help, and we're not going to get it from the council races. I understand the humans feel anger at minute things. Perhaps they can restrain themselves long enough to understand our situation, and also, we can defend ourselves. Rock versus fleshy creature. Humans don't even qualify as intelligent, and you would choose to live among them? The council forbade ever contacting them, Crown. What will they think when they find out that you defied the only isolation decree they passed in their history? The council hasn't helped us with our plight. I don't care what they think, I reasoned. I just want to survive, somewhere the Ploax won't find us. Crown, we're already arriving here at Earth. Maybe the humans aren't so bad. They're remarkably intelligent primals, right? I'm just going to ask them Nelsely if they'd take refugees. Humans had been observed for a long time by confounded scientists who couldn't understand how they'd ever gotten so far in spite of their anti-cooperative tendencies. I selected the lingua franca of their world, English, and input it into the language module installed in my skull plate. I sucked in a sharp breath as we skipped deeper into their atmosphere. The pod was almost in range of their simplistic radio frequencies, where I could request their aid. I was nervous to talk to such creatures, about how animals may react to a territorial incursion. The ship jolted with a thunderous explosion, careening into an uncontrolled freefall. Something had struck the rear of our vessel, a missile. By the grace of Safno engineering, our cabin hadn't been shredded by the explosion. The humans wasted no time even asking questions or demanding that we leave, before erupting in a fit of anger, striking us down. I'd made a terrible mistake by coming here, since they were intent on killing us faster than the Ploax would have found us. Is this it? Am I going to die in the impact? They're even quicker to anger than I thought, Elby exclaimed, panic in her voice. They attack first, think later. This is why the council forbade contacting them. They can't be reasoned with. I squeezed my eyes shut, straining to breathe beneath our sharp acceleration. You were right. I'm sorry. Part of the left thruster kicked back in, and I forced it to cough out fumes to slow our fall. We clipped the canopies of some barren trees, breaking our momentum further. We lurched back with only a few choked-out gasps of power, before tumbling the last 100 feet to the ground and slamming into a rock. Our ship split in half, my side twisting away from Elby's, hers rolled much more, while I was fortunate to be cushioned on the shoreline. What struck me immediately about Earth was that it was freezing. The engineering we'd undergone accelerated our metabolisms in a desperate attempt to generate heat, and killed all but our most critical functions. Carbon worlds were otherwise uninhabitable to my people. It was difficult to think as survival mode kicked in, fogging my mind. I had to save Elby. I could see her half of the pod crushed and splintered, and then I saw her body a little further down. Golden blood gushed from between the gray stones of her skin. I rushed over with a first aid kit in horror, trying to pack the wound with powder. Think, I mumbled to myself, seeing her non-responsive. We need to find shelter, from both the elements and the humans. It's clear they attack on sight. I need somewhere hidden to patch her up. They'll come to the crash site. I glanced at lights up the hillside. This looked like a rural enough area that at least until I found a better plan, I could hide somewhere on their residence. I just had to be careful. Humans were territorial and wouldn't let us get out the words to ask for help. Despite my weakened state in survival mode and the mind-numbing chill that seeped into my skin through my bundled-up layers, I strained to haul Elby up the slope. Step by step, it was all I could do not to collapse. Where are we going to get ammonia to drink on a carbon world without their help? We really needed their assistance. Fuck. I forced myself to worry about one problem at a time. My eyes turned away from the main residence and toward a small stable that looked unoccupied. It was a struggle to make my way through the grass, but I did it for Elby. It was my fault we were in this mess. I forced open the latch, stomping over straw and falling down face first. The frigid atmosphere of this world was lulling me to sleep. And, wait, was that footsteps? Shit, had the human that lived here heard us? I desperately tried to cover Elby in straw, but I could hear its crunching footfall getting closer. There was no time to burrow myself in. I had to distract it from seeing her. My arms shot into the air as it threw the gate open, and I saw that it clasped a long-barreled gun. The human's wild eyes locked on me before it screamed and stumbled back onto its ass. I studied the creature, seeing my own terror mirrored in its face. "What the fuck?" it shouted. "What in God's name are you?" "Please don't hurt me," I begged it, shying away. It sucked in a long breath when I spoke through the language module, but it maintained eye contact. Its breathing had quickened, panicking as it skittered backward. "Please, I'm sorry. The carbon life form didn't respond for several seconds, unable to breathe, before it re-raised the gun with shaking hands. "What kind of monster are you?" "I'm from space. Outer space. Another planet. Please tell me you understand," I pleaded. The human's eyes were manic, but it gave a slow nod. Its pupils gazed around me before its biceps tightened. It had seen Elby's fingers poking out, perhaps looking there because it heard her labored breathing. "Fuck, there's two of you." "Yes, tried to hide before you got here. I'm a refugee. Came to ask humans for help, which was dumb. You shot my ship down. My sister is badly injured, so I brought her here to rest. I hesitated, before realizing I had no choice but to beg the primal and hope it remained calm. It already seemed worked up, though more fearful than anything. "Please, have mercy. Help me. I'll give you anything I can." Its gun lowered slightly, but it gestured with its barrel for me to move back. I obeyed the spooked animal and retreated as far back as I could. It entered through the gate, creeping backward and facing me like it was worried to turn away. The human's hand brushed the straw off of Elby with a cautious motion. It about jumped out of its skin, but something changed on its features when it spotted the blood. Its forehead scrunched with what seemed like concern. The alien looked back at me, finally letting the gun fall to its side like a walking aid. "You're refugees? What happened to you?" "The Ploax did. They're a species who want to wipe us out. They poison our plaids and stop us from seeking refuge on any council worlds. Humans were the only race I could think of, and I was desperate. I shouldn't have bothered you. I'm sorry," I told it. "Wow, that's..." The human arched the fur above its eyes, coming to a decision with a shaky breath. It fished some kind of electronic device from its pocket, beginning to tap the screen. "Just stay put. Your sister needs medical attention. A doctor. Someone with authority has to sort this all out. I'm going to call emergency services." "No," I said firmly, causing it to flinch. "Please. The government here already attacked us. They'll kill us, or hurt us, or kidnap us to punish us. Or please, just let us leave. We don't want to hurt you. We'll leave in peace." The creature stared at me, and I noticed that its arm was still quivering. I could see tiny hairs standing up by its wrist, and it looked like it wanted to run away. Its green eyes watered, while it ran a hand through its flaxen hair with what seemed like stress. There was a surprising amount of intelligence in them. It was definitely studying me back, even as its jaw wobbled and its nostrils flared under tension. The human noticed me shivering before it lowered its gaze. It muttered several curses, then shed its jacket and threw it at me. "Thanks," I offered, wrapping the garment around myself. "I'll just grab my sister, and we'll let you get back to whatever you're doing. We won't intrude on your territory." The human sighed. "Not so fast. What are your names?" "I'm Crown, and she's Elby. We're from the Safno species. I'm Finley. I won't leave Elby to bleed to death. I'm not a doctor, though." "No authorities, please." Finley pursed its lips. "Fine, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you can stay with me for now. It ain't right to leave you outside. Why don't you come inside the house, and I'll get you settled in. I'll try to help." "Really? You mean it?" I exclaimed, shocked by its offer. I had a hard time trusting any of these primals after the unprovoked attack on our ship, but we needed the help of one local to survive a carbon world. "Yes, please, thank you, thank you." "Sure thing. You're gonna have to help me move Elby. She looks human-sized enough, but made of rocks." Lord, I have so many questions. The human eyed me warily as I approached to help it carry Elby into its dwelling, and I moved slowly to not incite it into a reflexive attack. It extended a hand toward me, but seemed to realize that I didn't understand. Finley reached over and grabbed my palm, noticing that I flinched when it moved toward me. That surprised the creature, evidently. We reached down to lift my injured sister together, and I accepted that for the time being, she and I had no better option